Hey, welcome in, everybody. It's the Bullpen. I'm your host, Tony Mack. That's Tricky Ricky. We are here, of course, at the beautiful Toyota Field. It's getting ready for another 6-game homestand. We've got quite a few home games this month. If you have yet to be to a Trash Pandas game this season, this is the month. We've got 18 games this month, starting tomorrow, and we're bringing in, for the first week in May, the Tennessee Smokies. Cannot wait for this series.
Absolutely true.
You don't have to do that.
I just figured since you got a stick microphone today out of nowhere, I didn't want you to feel like – it feels like more of a baseball type thing when you got the stick mic, so I wanted to come in here and be your number two. This is bottled water. My microphone is on my face, but regardless of the microphone settings, we do have the Tennessee Smokies coming into town for the first time since our crushing playoff defeat to them last season. So, old wounds heal. How's that saying go? Old, fresh wounds. What I'm trying to say is it still hurts a little.
Rub some dirt in it?
No.
No, you don't?
No. Old.
Pour some salt in an old open wound?
Old friends, better enemy. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I know what I'm trying to say, but I don't know what the saying is. We need new sayings in this.
I agree.
Every saying is from like the 1700s.
I agree. We've got some ridiculous sayings.
What I am saying about this saying is that I'm pretty dang sore about how everything went down last year on the field, and this is the first time we're going to see him. So I'm hoping it's Panda Revenge Week.
It's turned into a good rivalry, too. It really has turned into a nice little rivalry. Ricky's making fun of me because I forgot my headset. I guess I was still a little groggy from being sick this weekend. But you know what I did not forget?
What's that?
My inhaler.
What do you do? What are you doing? Whippets now? What is that? What was that?
I have bronchitis.
Is that a whipped cream can? You sucking on whipped cream cans over here?
To
start the show?
It's an inhaler.
Was that a nebulizer?
It's called an inhaler.
Ooh, you got some albuterol. They got you the good stuff.
Yeah.
You got 147 puffs left. Use them wisely.
I started with like 200. So.
My pa used to be a 2-pack a day guy with these.
Just packing down the albuterol.
Oh, buddy. No one breathed like my pa. He could breathe in the middle of I don't know.
Again, we need new sayings again.
Yeah, we need new sayings, man. That or I just need a cup of coffee. I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, I'm going to take a drink out of my microphone real quick.
So the Trash Pandas, to get here, they come into tomorrow's game. They come into this week in first place in the Southern League. They won the series over the weekend.
Chattanooga.
They went 4-2
over Chattanooga down there in the Noog.
And the biggest part about it to me was some of the who's bat specifically woke up this weekend, and that was Jeremiah Jackson. When Jeremiah Jackson left here, he was batting. I'm almost positive he was batting less than 100.
I think I remember seeing like 092 at one point.
Yeah. He is now batting well into the 200s. Jeremiah Jackson absolutely ripped Chattanooga apart. I think I checked the box score on Saturday and saw his batting average. I'm like, oh, excuse me?
Yeah, dude had a
monster week.
Stellar week. Over 5 games in Chattanooga, Jeremiah batted .611.
11 of 18.
Going 11 of 18 with 1 home run, 4 RBIs, 6 run scores, 3 walks, 3 stolen bases, a .636 on base percentage, an .889 slugging percentage, and a 1.525 OPS. His batting average was the best in all of minor league baseball last week, and he led the Southern League in hits, on base, and OPS. Dang.
Have yourself a week, man.
But he went 6-11 in Chattanooga.
You know what he needed?
What's that?
He needed some sleep, dude. He went on the road.
Mm-hmm.
He got him a good night's rest. Just a nice week that I don't want to say a good week away from your kid because that's never fun. But he got a good night's rest.
Okay.
The dad strength woke up. I mean, you got to look. They got to have rest before they can wake up. They go to bed at 8:30 most nights. You know what I mean? His didn't, thankfully.
I hear the phrase in baseball a lot: "Daddy hacks." Were those 11 hits? Were those all daddy hacks? Can you identify a daddy hack when you see it as a father?
When you see it, describing it's a little different. When you see it, 100%. You know that's a daddy hack.
Mm-hmm.
He took a few daddy hacks.
More than a few.
Took a couple yard.
Dude, and everything, too. It wasn't like, he just had a bunch of RBIs. everything. Did you hear all the stats? I just read a stat line for a guy where I mentioned home runs, RBIs, runs scored, walks, stolen bases, on base percentage. Like, what did he do poorly? Did he do anything poorly? I don't think so.
The OPS being at 1.525 is unbelievable. Yeah. That's unreal. So,
and if you think about Jeremiah Jackson last year, slow start to start the year, dealing with an injury, and then he got put into the starting lineup about a month into the year, and guy went on a tear to start off the year.
Yeah,
absolute tear, and now he's doing it again this season.
I'm ready. I'm ready to see it at home this time. He's going to come home against the Tennessee Smokies. I have no doubt in my mind that the Bats are going to stay awake for this series. I know some of the players that were here last year are probably ready to go back out here again because it's not just about the playoff series. That stunk to get knocked out of the playoffs after winning both the first and the second half division. But the rivalry in the regular season last year that started to build between
Keep going, sorry.
Us and this one. No, I'm curious with the hair thing you're doing. Go ahead.
No,
keep
I
doing
didn't
your
mean
thing.
to derail you.
Explore your thing.
Nothing. I just got a loose hair. Keep going. Seriously.
I was finishing up. The rivalry that they built went beyond the playoff series. It started well before then. The regular season matchups were so good and so chippy that we knew we were getting a very good playoff series. Unfortunately, the one win the Pandas had in the playoffs was on the road, so we didn't get to see it here. And then they dropped the two here at home. But the same thing did happen to the Smokies in the championship series. They won their first game in Pensacola and came home and lost two at home. So
felt good to watch them lose after we lost. Yeah. Pain loves.
Misery loves company.
Why we need new sayings? Misery loves company, all right? And it felt great to have Tennessee in the misery class last year to end the year. But I don't want to be that guy that's wanting misery, all right? I want other people to wish misery upon others that don't include me. Is that a saying?
That was well put. No.
Did Shakespeare, was that from Othello? I don't think it was.
I think it was from Othello right here.
Right here. That's all I want. That's it. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't have my that's all I want, man.
I do feel like I'm reporting constantly, holding it like this.
Like, makes you look very official.
It does. Yeah. And Rob put the trash panda thing on here for good measure.
It's a good look.
This was not attached. It was an added attachment here, so it's nice.
Nothing but the best here in the Rocket City.
That's right. But again, tomorrow, game time's a little different again this homestand. 3 different game times this week because we have a day game again. But tomorrow's game, 6:05. That means the Pepsi gates are at 5, VIP gates are at 4:30. Wednesday, it's another 11:05 game time. The power will not go out this time. I'm calling it right here, right now.
You better knock on some wood, dude.
Well, okay, so an important thing about the power outage was it wasn't just us. It was all of Town Madison because of a development that hit something. It wasn't just the trash pandas power went out because we didn't pay our bill. We did. We're caught up. We're good. We might have a credit now,
we paid the bills.
honestly.
It's totally.
We might have a credit now. But 11:05 on Wednesday, gate at 10, VIP at 9:30.
Did you say we might have a credit?
Yeah, we might have a credit now.
We might have extra electricity here Wednesday.
I mean, like they give you extra.
We're going to turn the lights on for no reason. just to burn it.
And then back on Thursday, it goes back to the regular 6:35 game time, and then we don't have another day game until September. So we'll be back to the only time.
Not counting Sundays, of course.
Yeah, that's true. Sunday, right now, our Sundays are at 2:35. When it gets hotter outside, when we get into like June, all the way through August, we're going to be at 4:05 on Sundays most of the time. We have a 6:35 Sunday coming up in May at the end of the month. So we'll keep you posted on the game times.
Dude, speaking of May, busy month here in Panda Land.
18 games this week,
We've got
month.
18 games in the next 25 days. Okay? Yeah. That's a lot of opportunities for you to come see the Pandas. So, man, Tennessee this week. Who do we have after? Do you know who that back-to-back is with?
No idea.
You pull that up? I know we got Tennessee this week, so it's revenge week for the Pandas. See if we can get back to the team that finished our season off here on this field just, 7-8 months ago. Then we go on the road for a week. Then we got 2 homestands back-to-back to end May. 12 games in 13 days. Who do we have for those first homestands? We haven't seen Birmingham here at home yet. We haven't seen Pensacola yet.
So it'll be
Montgomery.
We play Tennessee this week. Then we go on the road to Biloxi. Then we come back for the 2 homestands is going to be Birmingham, May 16th through the 21st. And then May 23rd through the 28th is going to be Chattanooga again. Chattanooga again. I'm playing Chattanooga a lot early.
There's some big-time series in May.
Already played
Tennessee,
like 9 games.
Revenge Week, Chattanooga, our old rival, and Birmingham, our punching bag. Big week.
Birmingham did get the bat a lot. That first road.
Last couple of years, man, we've had Birmingham's number. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there.
They got the stick big time. So
it's facts. Whoa.
Come out here and check us.
Hey, get you a hit of that. Get you a little bit of this gas. Get you some of that. Golly. Caps on. There we go. Now we're talking.
There we go. That's good.
All right.
I'm good.
Let's go. What are we doing now?
That's albuterol, by the way. Papa Hayes, that's albuterol. It's not what you're doing out there in Montana.
Yeah. That's all above board.
Yeah, it's all regulation.
Totally
it's all within the rules.
You only got 146 more puffs, though.
Really excited for our guys to get back here. We're scheduled, again, we're not going to do a podcast on Wednesday because we have a day game. But on Friday, we're going to do what we did last time. We're going to have another player in here with us. We're still trying to narrow it down. It's going to be between Coleman Crow or Eric Torres. We're going to have one of the, depends on the rotation and everything, according to our media guy that's going to get us one of those. But we're going to have one of our bullpen
Eric
pitchers.
Torres, I like Coleman Crow. We haven't spoken to Coleman Crow yet.
We have not.
I'm interested to find out his story.
And he's having a good year.
He's having a fantastic year. That dude is very good at throwing baseball.
You can look at quite a few pitchers out there that's having a good year, including our boy on the show, Kenyon Yovan, did have a bad outing this weekend, unfortunately. Blew one of the games, but that happens, man.
That's baseball,
No big deal, yeah.
You know, cars break down. Sometimes the van break down.
Just bring the juice this week. If there's ever a game, Kenyon, to get pumped up about striking out the side, it's this series, right?
Can't get pumped up in Chattanooga. I mean, you see that? Come on.
I mean, what's in Chattanooga? What do they have up there?
It's all underwater. It's all fish. How you supposed to get jacked up for fish?
How do you strike a guy out wearing a snorkel?
You
know what I mean? You can't do that.
No,
you can't breathe.
No, you're gonna need albuterol after that one. You're gonna be breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. It's not gonna be a very fun aerobic experience for your chest right there.
Hey, if you need 144 puffs left, if you need one, I got you.
Half of those are for the team next week because we want W's.
That's right.
And Tony Mac's here to provide it.
I'm here. I'm here for you. So we're hopefully going to see some fireworks here this week. Guaranteed some actual fireworks, but
Fridays
I mean
and Saturdays.
Yeah, the
literal fireworks.
Yeah, literally fireworks out here. But ready for?
You want to fight?
I was just meant.
What kind of fireworks you looking for?
They would.
We haven't had
home
a bench
runs?
clearer in a while. I'm not gonna lie.
But the bench clearings in baseball bother me so much. And you know what drives me crazy? You know what I wish they would do?
What?
And I mean, if they want to do the little match where they just get up and they puff their chests out and they're like, "What are you gonna do? No, what are you gonna do?" That's fine. But the bullpens don't need to come all the way to home plate to start yelling at each other. Why can't the bullpens just exit the bullpen and go meet each other at the warning tracks?
You should designate one guy in the bullpen that you know, like, unless this game's going 15 innings, this guy's probably not playing.
Yeah.
You should designate that person as your thrower, you know? And if things do get nuts, one guy hops out of the bullpen, out of each one, they meet in the outfield, and they slug it out like two goalies meeting at mid-ice, you know, in the middle of a fight that goes nuts. We turn it into a full-blown Donnybrook out there.
That'd be awesome.
One guy, you're not worried about messing up his playing time tonight. He's not going to play anyways. You got other arms, but he's like a goon, you know?
Yeah, it's
like,
the goon in hockey. What would it be in baseball? It'd be our version of a goon.
You
whatever.
just have to have a goon, you know, like some big, like the guy got no control on his pitches. He throws it about 97, but you don't know where the hell it's going. But this right hook, you know where that's going. And you know where old Tom O'Leary right here on the left hook's going.
You knew a hockey player once, right? That was he was called up and flown around to be the goon?
Dude, he was a hired goon. Yeah, he used to play for the Havoc here in town, and then after he got done there, occasionally he'd be like, "Hey man, I got you a plane ticket. Come out to Michigan. I'll pay you $2,000. I need you to beat this guy up." He'd be like, "Yeah, I'll be there." And then he told me he was skating through warm-ups and he was winded because he hadn't been playing all year and he was in bad shape. So he just worked right during warm-ups. He went to the other side of the ice and just beat the life out of this guy and got thrown out before the game started. He's like, "Dude, I couldn't have took a shift. I had to do it early." So he just went and beat him up during warm-ups.
To get full payment?
Oh yeah,
Nice.
Oh, he did his job.
Good.
You know, that guy hit our dude. We got to take him out
Before he even clocked in.
I don't care when you do it. I'm surprised he didn't catch him in the parking lot before he ever entered. He wouldn't have to strap up his skates.
But that's my biggest issue with benches clearing is when the bullpens come out. The bullpens run with each other just to get in each other's face when they get to home plate. Why not just meet out there?
Yeah, if you weren't a baseball fan or if you'd never seen a baseball game before, you would think that part is pretty silly. You go, wait a minute, they don't like each other? Why are they running in tandem?
They're running together just to get in each other's face at home plate.
Yeah, no, it should be circle up, throw in your goon, 60 seconds, let's have it out.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Just like the stare downs you see during the national anthem where occasionally like one guy will hang out and just stare at the others.
Like Alabama and MTSU did it?
Yeah, we already have this in the sport of baseball. Let's just make it a little more physical.
I'm with it, man. I'm
Get 'em
completely
gloves. You know, I'm not asking for blood sport out here. You know, get them headgear, whatever. We got room in the pen.
Look, I don't know how fast his hands are, but I'll tell you one guy I'd nominate if I know for sure he's not playing. He gets a lot of playing time, but if he's not playing that night,
Yeah.
throw Ivan Armstrong out there. You telling me someone's going to step up to that guy?
Buddy, what is he, like 6'8"?
He's
Punching
minimal.
down. He's firing these numbers.
He can pick him up and just put him to sleep.
Go with a bear hug, the old Andre the Giant.
He could. He 100% could. I remember when we were down here for the event the week before the season started, he walked in like, oh, Lord, that is a large person. He's a very big person.
Oh, yeah.
I'd nominate him. He'd be one.
Yeah. I'd put in
Another guy I wouldn't mind fighting is Kenyon Yovan. Dude, he was in here. He's like 6 years younger than us, and he looks like you said, I think you had told me, you said, we look like children. This guy's a grown man.
Mm-hmm. He seems like a guy, too, that if you got him into a bad position, you're about to break his arm, and the guy would be like, you better tap out, I'm going to do it. He'd be like, just break it. Like, he'd be like, he'd
Make
look
eye
in the
contact
and, like,
while you
make
did it.
break his arm, yeah. And then he'd take the other one, slug you in the face with all his remaining arm dangles away.
He'd hold it up.
Be like,
in
I'll
victory.
Pop it right back in. And then the Undertaker, you're like, whoa. Whoa now. Oh, no.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Flares up from time to time.
Jeez. Buddy, you all right over there?
But you were going to nominate somebody. Who would you?
You just watered the side wall over there.
Yeah, well, at least it wasn't you. But hey, the positive here is bronchitis is not contagious. You're good.
Fake news.
No, that's true.
I get all of my medical advice from TV commercials, okay? Like everyone else.
I haven't seen a bronchitis commercial.
I've been taking Flomax for 10 years, and I don't even really think I have the issue that it addresses. Okay? You don't tell me about the medical field.
So I nominated who'd be your goon? Who's your hired goon?
Zach Christofak.
I haven't really seen him. Does he have the beard?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him up close.
You'd look at him, though, and you'd go, oh, it was what am I? And that's what I want. You know, I don't want to lull you into a false sense of security. You go, oh, what's this guy going to do? And I don't know if he can fight or not. But he throws the ball hard, so I'm putting all my trust in him.
You know, I mean, another physically imposing person is Ben Joyce. He's very tall.
Nah, I'm going Christofak. Kind of like a Ty Domi. Remember him? He used to play with the Maple Leafs? Pull his shirt over and just wailing on you.
You brought up hockey a couple times now, and I'm glad you have because and it's not like I watch a ton of it, but really, relevant story this past weekend was the Bruins. They set the record for most wins in a regular season in hockey, and then they go out there and they blow a 3-1 lead, and they lose the series, and now I believe it's in all four major sports. The team that has the best regular season record in the history of that sport has failed to win a championship that year.
Wow.
And what's also crazy about that is two of those four major sports, off the top of my head, I don't know about baseball, two of the four major sports, they blew a 3-1 lead. The Warriors blew that 3-1 lead in 2016 after going 73-9, and then the Bruins blew a 3-1 lead.
I watched game 5, too. Really blew it. I mean, just a bad pass by the goalie. He ends up having to slide, like soccer slide tackle to try to make up for this bad pass, and they get a freebie on the net. I mean, totally gave one away in overtime after fighting from behind to take it. But you always hear about like teams that are undefeated and whatever, like these top tier like all-time seasons. Like whenever those teams do suffer a loss, you always hear the thing like maybe that was a good time to lose. Maybe it was too much pressure when you go in as you're the greatest team of all time. Now all you have to do is just win the Stanley Cup, and everyone will still think that about you. If you do anything short of that, we're going to call you failures. You just got more wins than any team ever, and odds are we're going to call you failures because, it's not easy to go win a Stanley Cup, and here we are.
Especially when you lose in the first round. You blew a 3-1 lead in the first round. And the other thing that's wild about that is I would say that hockey – out of all of the teams that are going to have the best record ever, if you do it in hockey, not only there is way more pressure on you to win the Stanley Cup because it's way harder to win the Stanley Cup. I mean, in basketball, the Warriors at least made it to a Game 7 in the finals that year. They were still an incredible force. In baseball, I don't remember what happened with the best record, like when they got eliminated, or how it happened. But what's the other one? Baseball.
Are you just curious about the other four major sports?
Well, I'm talking about the other four major sports. Yeah. Football, you can't blow a 3-1 lead because it's football. And the Patriots, of course, lost in the Super Bowl. What I'm saying is,
you lose a 28-3 lead. Falcons it.
But look how far a lot of those great teams of all time went, right? Like or the regular season teams. The Patriots went to the Super Bowl undefeated and lost there. The Warriors made it all the way to a Game 7. Again, I don't remember what happened in baseball, how far they had gotten. But in hockey, you blow a 3-1 lead and you lose out in the first round because the Stanley Cup, I believe, even more so than the baseball playoffs and even more so than the NBA playoffs, hockey's playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, are a totally different season. Like it's totally different. It's not like the Bruins, and I know people looked at it that way, but the Bruins aren't coming in as like the best team, right? They had a great season last season, but this is playoff season now. It's totally different. Whereas in basketball, you still expect those top seeds, even though the Bucks did just get beat. But you expect the top seeds almost always to continue to advance.
Yeah. In baseball, was it the Seattle Mariners?
They won like 123 games. I just don't remember.
Because I think they lost in the first round.
Yeah, I knew it was early. I just don't remember a win.
Baseball, that was the ALDS. So, I mean, there's less rounds. But still, I think it was the Seattle Mariners you're talking about. But the Tampa Bay Lightning did this just a few years ago. They set the 2019 NHL season saw the Tampa Bay Lightning tie the 95-96 Red Wings for most regular season wins in NHL history. They went out and got swept 4-0 by Columbus that year in the playoffs. Was that swept 4-0 the same year they tied the record for most wins?
Was that before or after they ended up winning 2 in a row?
2019's when they failed. They won 20 and 21 back to back.
That's crazy.
So think about that. That's even crazier. You set the all-time record for wins, you blow it and get swept first round of that season, then with all of that pressure and everyone talking about how much you stink and how you blew it, you win 2 in a row. That's wild. Where if you're a Bruins fan, at least you got that. Like, hey, maybe we're going to win 2 next year. Yeah. I wouldn't bet on it, but it's not the death knell either. And it also just shows you, man, like when you have all that pressure, it can be a little tough. It can get in your head, and the team you're playing has absolutely no pressure on them because everyone's already expecting them to lose. They lose this game, and maybe that pressure falls off a little bit. They win 2 Stanley Cups just like that. The
all-time best records in the regular season records in Major League Baseball. Number 2, the Seattle Mariners, 2001. They won 116 games. I guess it's tied for first because the first-place team also did. But the first-place team played like 10 less games. But Seattle went 116 and 46. They lost in the ALCS, so they did make it to the championship series. Okay. And then number 1, in 1906, the Chicago Cubs won 116 games.
Chicago Cubs. I thought you were the Philadelphia Doozies.
The Nipsey Daisers. They went out there and they won 116 games. But 116 out of 152 games, Chicago won. Lost in the World Series.
It's tough.
Yeah. Most of the teams with the best records in baseball lost. The Yankees did win in the World Series in 98. They won 114 games. The Indians in 54 won 111 games. They lost in the World Series. The Dodgers in 2022 had 111 wins. They lost in the NLDS.
I think when it comes to sports, the best approach is to take the one that I used in school with my GPA. You know, you don't want it too high. You don't want to set the bar too high because then you're living up to a lot.
Have a great finish, you know?
Yeah. You know, set your goal right around that 2.83 GPA area. You know, you do better. People are always impressed. You do a little worse. It's like, oh, well, guys, you know.
His goal is 2.8. I mean, what do you expect?
It's like nuts. But you have the potential to be a 4.0 man at some point. Mm-hmm. You know, if you go 4.0 all year, there's no 4.1. You then have to keep that excellence going. Live life like you got a 2.83 GPA. All right? That's the way to go. You know, take it from me.
Manage your expectations.
Soon to be the dean of admissions at my old college. Someday. But not yet. What?
Why not yet?
Because I'm not technically that. That's not my job.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm building.
But when are you going to start to build?
Well, I'm not a 4.0 man. So if I was, I'd have it probably. I could be. I could work my way up in the system probably by next year. But I'm a 2.83 guy. So I'm going to have to. It's going to take at least 8 years of work. And then a lucky, like I run into a guy somewhere where I wasn't expecting to. We have a good interaction. That person throws my name around a little bit. And then, you see where you end up.
You're like the bottom of the job requirements where the top of it, it's like, oh, we require you to have this degree and this amount of experience in the field. But the farther you go down, it's like, okay, maybe you don't have to have a degree. But if you have like 15 years experience, that'd be nice. Like just they're trying to make as little as possible for you.
Look, this guy's not real what most of us call book smart, but he's still in the game, and that's impressive. What's Robert Parrish? Not the greatest basketball player of all time, but a great basketball player.
It's pretty good.
He played like for 23, 24 seasons. You know why? Because he wasn't up there Larry Birding it every night. He was just doing his Robert Parrish thing, winning championships, joining the all-century team, playing 24 years, getting that pension. It's all about that league pension.
Oh, is it?
And a lot of guys say they play for the rings and the sound of the fans and all. Everyone just wants that pension at the end of the day. It's all about that automatic mailbox money once you wrap it up.
Yeah, none of that's true. But speaking of the NBA, we're about to get in some cases they've started the second round, but a couple of game 7 wrapped up yesterday. The Warriors pulled away from the Kings, ended up beating them. What do you think about a LeBron, Steph Curry second round? How crazy is that we're getting Lakers-Warriors round 2? It starts this week. I honestly think, because we've seen them in the finals so many times when they were in the East and the West, that this is way more intriguing to me than those were, because the first one was good, right? Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt before those games. Or Kyrie got hurt in that series. Kevin Love got hurt against Boston like way earlier on. But that one was intriguing. Curry won his first championship. The next 3, they had KD. So it really wasn't exciting anymore after the Cavs won in 2016. So this one, where the Warriors come in as like the 6th seed and the Lakers come in as the 7th seed, they both won matchups they weren't supposed to win. This feels way more exciting to me.
I'm more intrigued. You're absolutely right. And you know why? Because back in the day, they were playing at that 4.0 level. Both of them. KD's there, all-timer. LeBron, he's in his prime. He's got to win games. Whatever. This was too expected. I don't like this. Now we get to this year. Lakers go beat the Grizzlies. Grizzlies talking a lot of trash. We don't have any problem with anybody in this league. See you later. Lakers eliminate you. Warriors, they don't have KD anymore. They're back to their old days. They're riding Steph and the supporting crew. They're at that 2.83 level, both of these teams. And now we get to see what they got, all right? And LeBron, he made, what's that dude's name? Is it Dylan Brooks?
Dylan Brooks,
Made him look like a stupid idiot.
Oh, my God.
And just absolutely, he said, I'm an old man, and I'm going to dunk on you a ton, and there's like nothing you can do about it. And I'm going to beat your team, and you're going to lose by 40 in the last game.
Because Dylan Brooks came out and said, I don't respect – he said, LeBron's old, and I don't respect you until you give me 40.
See, he's a 4.0 man, but he's at a 2.83 level. Dylan Brooks forgot about the 4.0 man that used to be there, all right? And he got slapped around in prime time.
So Dylan Brooks wanted 40, right, for him to respect LeBron. Well, with that win, LeBron won his 40th career playoff series, and the Lakers beat the Grizzlies by 40 points. Mm-hmm. So he got 40. Got a couple of them.
Yeah, not a great look for the Grizzlies all around.
And then Dylan Brooks stopped talking to the media after the first game where he got embarrassed.
That's what you do when you're ashamed.
You're contractually required to. He was so contractually required to talk to the media. This is how bad what he said was. That his employer was like, I know that like technically we're going to make you do this, but don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll pay the fine. Please just hide. You're an embarrassment to all of us.
Please stop.
That old man you talked a bunch of crap about just dominated.
It was funny. Someone told me that the way my friend put this, I just, you don't hear it in these terms in sports. It's like he gets cut or he gets released or he gets traded. My friend, who's a very big basketball fan, he was like, they're going to fire Dylan Brooks after this. You know how harsh that is in athletic terms? You're going to get fired.
Yeah, it feels like if they do get rid of him, he is getting fired.
Yeah.
He's not getting released. You're getting an aggressive
released or cut feels like, your contract's a little, we need to clear some room.
Excel sheet, there was, we're in the red, we're in the black, we got to make moves.
Yeah, that's right.
Love you, though. Not this.
No, fired is, look, you're not performing to expectations. You embarrassed the organization. We're gonna have 2
security guards walk you out of the building. stuff. One of those things.
We're
worried about you stealing.
We're going to check your bag. Yeah,
we pay you a lot of money, and we're worried you're going to steal some things out of here. That's how poorly this went.
When you go into your locker room to collect your stuff, we're setting up the metal detector outside.
Yeah, once you leave the locker room, you're a fan. We're going to treat you like
that. That's right. Sorry, so you have to go in through entrance or gate 3 over here.
Dude, I'm very intrigued in that, though. LeBron is on this kind of like, I like where LeBron's at now because now he's old and he feels like he's got to prove everybody wrong. And you got guys like Dylan Brooks that just don't care about him at all. But it's like LeBron is still awesome. And then you got Steph, he's been so close to getting them back to where they were before all the KD stuff and everything. But Clay's not the same guy as he once was. You know, you got a different supporting cast. You got Poole there, Green. But Steph's still the man. I'm ready to see. And, you know, LeBron can't say nothing about Steph. These are two bona fide Hall of Fame studs. I can't wait to see him go at it at this point.
Even though the Lakers have Anthony Davis, who has been hit or miss in the playoffs this year, and then Steph has Clay and Draymond, it really, truly, for the first time since 2015 or 2016, it feels like LeBron versus Curry, right? Because, like you mentioned before, KD was there, and Steph and Clay were all playing at this ridiculous level, and it was just LeBron with a bunch of hacks that he put together to come out there and play with them. This year, again, I know Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis hasn't been Anthony Davis all the time. Clay, like you mentioned, Draymond's practicing like amateur karate on the nards of every player he's matched up against. So it's totally different. The guys that are LeBron's carrying the Lakers, and Steph dropped 50 to put the Warriors past the Kings yesterday. So it truly feels like Steph and LeBron this time.
This feels like this is going to be the closest thing to an all-star game.
It's going to be
get in the NBA.
It's going to be so much fun.
Competitive basketball between all-timers.
And I'll say this about LeBron, too, what I like about him being in the West, other than the fact that he's failed a lot over there. I know they had their COVID weird bubble win, but other than that, he missed the playoffs once as a Laker. They got eliminated, almost swept by the Suns, right? It was like 4-1, something like that. Got beat in the first round by the Suns. He's not had a ton of playoff success as a Laker like he did anywhere else he went. I know it's happening later in his career, but the one thing you always heard about, or LeBron fans would say about MJ, is like they would point at who MJ played in the finals versus who LeBron played in the finals. LeBron had to go up against all those Curry teams. He had to go up against really good Spurs teams there. But they didn't really mention what LeBron had to go through to get to the finals. Because in the East, LeBron really didn't have to go through much. A couple of good players here and there, like Paul George and Roy Hibbert were the guys for Indiana for a couple of years. He had to, like when he got to the conference finals, he played a couple of dudes, right? But it was nothing like that. And then
Lance Stevenson.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So they focus on the finals because LeBron's finals matchups were always better than Michael's finals matchups because Michael went through way harder competition in the East to get to the NBA Finals. You want to go compare what Michael went through just to get to the finals compared to LeBron, it's no contest. People love to leave that out because they want to pump up LeBron as the greatest ever. But Michael had to go through way more to get to the finals than LeBron ever did in the East. Now LeBron, even though he's 38 and he's not the same player, he's still really good, he's having to do that. Look at all the star-studded people in the Western Conference. The second-round matchup, Steph Curry. So,
I mean, think about it for LeBron. Think about if somehow they go to an NBA Finals. This could be the biggest one of LeBron's
This
career.
Would be. Minus the Cleveland 2016. That's the biggest.
I mean, that's a big one. But would there be any one as unexpected as this one? People have been writing off the Lakers all year.
Right, but the
guys are talking and saying he's old, and I don't even know that guy. He's garbage.
But the thing about 2016 was that Cleveland, the city of Cleveland, haven't won a professional championship in whatever how long. And then on top of that, the Warriors, they played that year. They erased the 3-1 deficit against them. That was the 73-9 Warriors, the greatest regular season of all time. Potentially the greatest basketball team of all time. LeBron went out there and beat.
Yeah, that probably is the top now.
It's right. The top one. This one would be close. This one would be his second best finals for sure.
It's the top. It's got to be.
You have a good
Lakers
argument.
Bubble one too is at the bottom.
Yeah.
So like
most people call it a Mickey Mouse ring. They don't count.
So like to really, and LeBron wants to be an all-time Laker so bad. And winning one bubble championship as a Laker, missing the playoff, you're not with Magic, you're not with Kareem. You got to get. This would be an all-timer one. You're They're putting your number up there. You're hanging from the rafters.
Right. You have your Shaq. You have your Pau Gasol, your right-hand man. That's Anthony Davis. You have that guy. Kobe had Shaq.
I'm not ruling him
Kobe had
out.
Pau. You know what I mean?
And and I've always been a LeBron hater.
Yeah.
But that's just the off the court person. I don't really.
That's the same.
That's just his corny personality. I don't like. But you can't argue with the basketball player.
Finally watched something over the weekend with LeBron in it that LeBron came off as a likable person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched the Redeem Team documentary, the 2008 Olympic team. LeBron was actually a likable person.
Yeah.
The first time he's ever come off as likable to me, ever, off the court. So, and it didn't make me actually like him off the court, but he was actually was bearable.
I was thinking about it the other day, and I can't even really be mad at LeBron for being corny or not knowing how to relate to people.
Not getting past the first page of a book.
Always fake reading books in public, which is definitely my least favorite thing about him. But dude's been super famous since he was 14 years old. Yeah. And we're talking about teams playing at a 4.0 level. That dude was put at a 4.0 set high bar at his sophomore year of high school. And he stayed there for 25 years.
And he's done a lot of the right things in terms of basketball as well. He's taken great care of his body to make sure he can play this long. So, yeah, I agree with you. When you have that kind of expectation on you and he's basically lived up to it, I mean, you're still going to have people argue that he's not better than MJ, but I don't think you can argue that LeBron is a top 3 NBA player.
Shia LaBeouf was in one Transformers franchise, and they couldn't even finish it before he went crazy. LeBron has been the best basketball player, the most notable for 25 years.
Yeah.
And he just occasionally fake reads books, Shia LaBeouf will live in the woods for a month and start to communicate with his family through smoke signals.
How far did he make it? Shia LaBeouf, I think it was when Trump got elected or something like that. Shia LaBeouf started a live stream where he was out on the street and he was like, I'm going to protest. I'm not going to end this live stream for the whole presidency or whatever, and until he's gone. How long did he get? I didn't pay attention past day one.
About it, but I would say it's probably safe to say his live stream did not last 4 years.
That would be awesome.
That'd be impressive. And you know what? Maybe later in life, Shia LaBeouf, maybe he could pull it off. Maybe LeBron had his rough steps in the middle. He started off high, went to the Heat. We're gonna win 8 championships. Then he can't get past Dirk Nowitzki and just those old heads over there with the 2011 Mavericks. He gets back up there. He figures it out. Now he's down low again, fighting his way back up. Shia LaBeouf can do it. I'm not ruling him out. I think Shia LaBeouf will have a 4-year-long live stream at some point in the next 5 to 10 years.
This was from an article in January 2017.
Where's the chamoy? I need it for a photo shoot for put on the rim jet. Where's the chamoy?
Excuse me, what did you just say?
Where's the chamoy?
Did you look on the shelf?
I can't find it anywhere. We need it for a photo shoot.
You should probably go to the shelf. Look over there. Okay.
Come to our Lonachos game on May 7th.
This is a cheap plug right here. Hey, by the way, what was that, Renee?
Come to our Lonachos game on May 7th. Get you a chamoy rim-dipped margarita. I'm going to go try to find it.
If she can find the chamoy.
Yeah, this is a dire situation, people. If you can find the chamoy in Decatur, Alabama, please let me know.
I don't know. Are we really missing that? Are we sending people on a search party, or are you good?
I would love helpers.
Okay, there you go. That's Selfless Promotion 101, folks. In case you didn't know, Lunaticos, May 7th. It's happening. We've been talking about her running in to do something for the longest time. I don't know why I'm still talking into your microphone, too.
Thank you.
We've been talking about Renee popping in here to just randomly say one thing and to be like, it's over there. And then she'd be like, oh. And then she'd just leave. And that'd be kind of like her running thing. She would bust into the show live for some very meaningless things. But I don't think we practiced it enough. It didn't quite go the way I don't know. You were the whole time what is happening right now?
She really needs this chamoy.
Can you have some professionalism in here? No, that was all set up. I didn't know that was happening today.
Oh, I didn't know it was happening ever.
Me either.
So, but this is an article in 2017. Shia LaBeouf, live streamer extraordinaire. I didn't know that was a title of his. He opened his latest project to the public at 9 a.m. Eastern time this morning. It's called He Will Not Divide Us. And yes, it's a live stream. A camera will be planted outside the Museum of the Moving Image in Queens for the next 4 years. Visitors will be able to stand in front of the camera and chant LaBeouf's provided mantra, or just stare dead-eyed until the unending waves of terror feel like a distant memory.
Renee, get over here.
4 years.
Renee, you still over there? Oh, of course. Now the one time we wanted to come in here, I was going to ask her opinion on Shia LaBeouf. Now,
I want to know how far he made it. How far did he get? That's the only article. It's from 2017.
was that where all that clips of him in front of the green screen where he's like, "Do it"?
No, that was
Where
way
came
before.
from?
That was way before that.
All right. So what I was trying to say by bringing up Shia LaBeouf is, I mean, the mental strength of LeBron James is really something to marvel at. You know?
Yeah, true. It got shut down after a month, by the way.
Yeah. After a month?
Yeah.
Hey, come here real quick.
I found it on the shelf.
Good.
What was that?
I found it on the shelf.
Oh, thank God. We're starting to worry. Are you a big fan of Shia LaBeouf?
I think this is a controversial question.
Uh-oh. Yeah, we like to address all the hot button issues on this show, like Shia LaBeouf.
I plead the fifth.
Ooh. I didn't realize.
You did. You said you plead the fifth.
I was supposed to pop in and out earlier, so I'm just going to pop
When comparing the career of LeBron James and what he's done over 25 years since becoming a super famous man in his sophomore year of high school, how do you compare that to Shia LaBeouf's ability to go from Even Stevens fame to Transformers to not even be able to finish that one and to being where he is today?
Amazing.
We'll have to come back for that one.
Yeah,
We'll have to come back for that
we'll get some analysis
Come
there.
back for
Before we get out of here, one more thing that we can discuss
Was
here.
that a plea the fifth on Shia LaBeouf?
I believe she said plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
Wouldn't want to plead that.
Yeah. So, lastly, the other thing that happened over the weekend, the NFL draft. That was a big one. The one thing that we learned the last 2 years now in the NFL draft is that the talking head analysts, they're not going to be able to force certain guys to be number one picks. They tried so hard.
Love Will Levis, said
tr-
Mel Kiper as he watched every single team in the league go, I'm all right, for the first round.
They passed. Will Levis sat there, and ESPN put him on TV like a goon for 3 or 4 hours because Mel Kiper started this right after the NFL draft last year, started pumping up this Will Levis thing. We sat in here, and we were on the radio, but we did it in this room, and we were like, top 10, all of a sudden Will Levis is projected to be a top 10 pick, and then 2 days later CBS put out their projections, and they were like, we'll do you one better. Will Levis is going number 1 overall. I'm like, what? Why?
Bro, he was the betting favorite for like 3 days to go number
Dude,
one.
all football season, all off season, it's Will Levis. Will Levis reportedly was telling family members he was going number 1 overall. That impacted the betting odds. And then if Mel Kiper doesn't hype him up like that, then he's not on the camera for 4 hours looking like an idiot.
Yeah, that's a tough spot, man. If you're going to get dressed out and you're ready for the first round, you better be sure you're going in the first round. And the thing is, he doesn't go first round, and he's the guy. Every year there's always that guy that they show for a while. Mac Jones, I think a couple years ago, wasn't too bad for him. He got picked at like 15, but he was becoming that guy. There's always one quarterback that becomes the embarrassing guy, and they kept showing him. And then now the joke on the internet is that his girlfriend's going to leave him because she was always in the shot too, and she's like bored and like looking at other things to do. Because who wouldn't be bored sitting in a room for 4 hours waiting for one thing that never happens? You'd be incredibly bored. Anybody would be. I was bored, and I love the draft, but it's got those moments. Then it doesn't happen for you day one. I feel like day two you got to go back. You have to go across that stage, man. Brian Branch for Alabama, he went for day one. He didn't get picked. But he's not a quarterback, so we didn't watch him fail over the course of 4 hours slowly.
That's right.
Will Levis doesn't get picked, and then I think that just the internet, absolutely obliterated him. It's too much, and then he watched it from home. I don't know about you, but I'm walking across that stage. I don't care if I have to wait until Saturday. If I'm a fifth-round pick, I'm about to have the loudest roar for a fifth-round pick ever. Like, you got to go across the stage, man.
No, if Will Levis fell to the 5th round, he'd be busy helping his girlfriend pack because she's leaving him.
No, she would have. Yeah, it would have been bad. Yeah, for sure. Bad.
So my thing, I like the value in which he was picked. The Titans traded up to get him.
Great
I'm not
pick for the Titans. I think.
Not crazy about it, but I like that it was the 2nd round. It wasn't that the Titans 2 years in a row have taken a quarterback in which everyone had a first round grade on. I went back and looked at everybody's final mock draft of last year. Every single analyst had 2 quarterbacks going in the first round of last year's draft. Kenny Pickett, and 90% of them had Malik Willis. And Malik Willis fell to the 4th round. He's not very good as of right now.
Already given up on
Right. And so the same thing with Will Levis, except he fell to the 2nd round. The value there is much better. But now you look at the AFC South and look at how young all of those quarterback rooms are. You've got Trevor Lawrence who's had a 2-year head start. Indianapolis got Anthony Richardson in this draft. Houston took Bryce Young in this draft, or not Bryce Young, but C.J. Stroud in this draft. They took Will Anderson. And then the Titans take Will Levis. Which of these 4 quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence obviously with the head start, so we're not going to say him, do you think is going to fail first and the hardest?
Did you say Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, because he's got a 2-year head start in Jacksonville. He's in that division.
You're talking about the division.
Yeah, the division. Now, it's still very young. Trevor's still young. He's got a 2-year head start on these guys.
Who's going to do the best?
Who's going to fail first and hardest?
Fail first and hardest. I probably Will Levis because the Titans stink.
You think so? I think it's Anthony Richardson. I don't think it's close. Out of all of those guys, I thought Anthony Richardson and Will Levis both were busts. I still think that about Levis. I'm going to pull for him because he plays for my Titans now, so I'm going to pull for him. But I think he's a bust. Anthony Richardson, I think that they're really hoping that he can be a lot like Jalen Hurts at first before he developed as a passer. He can really use his legs, and a lot like Justin Fields is now, where Justin Fields primarily uses his legs because his arm really hasn't caught up to the NFL yet. I don't think it's going to be that way. I think he's very athletic, but I think he's so far behind as a passer that they're going to read the run all the way. I don't think they're going to have too much issue stopping Anthony Richardson early.
I get what you're saying, but I was that down on Jalen Hurts for his ability to pass.
Yeah.
And look what he was able to do with the same coach, or with the coach that is now the head coach for Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's raw, no doubt about it, but he's physically so gifted that I think it's worth the risk to try to get him and hope that you can turn him into a passer. You can teach a guy how to pass.
Yeah.
Especially this guy. He's got a proven track record with a quarterback who's very similar, strong, runs it well, but not great passing, not enough to be in the NFL. I think you can figure it out. I mean, Richardson's had good moments.
What's crazy about these 3 guys, all 3 of them we talked about. The 4 quarterbacks in the draft, Bryce Young's the one that didn't go in this division. Bryce is the only one I thought was going to translate to the NFL. Even though C.J. Stroud had a really nice game against Georgia that made me think twice about his NFL future, but I still was been bust on him all the way. 3 dudes that I thought were going to be busts all play in the same division with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, I think Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence not only have a little more pressure on him now because they made the playoffs last year, they won a playoff game, and now he's the oldest quarterback as long as Tannehill. Whenever Tannehill finally leaves, he's like the oldest quarterback in the division.
It's got to be wild to be a Jags fan right now.
Yeah,
you're the favorite.
Should be.
You're the top of the division.
Should be.
You've got the most tenured quarterback at age 25 or 26. Like, the Jags are set up very well.
Mm-hmm.
Levis, though, I mean, they are just – Derrick Henry's in his 30s now. Their wide receiver core is awful.
You know, Derrick Henry still had 1,500 yards last year. And the year before that, he only played 8 games and ran for 900 yards.
I get that, but that was a Titans team that at least had the illusion of a quarterback in a pass game. This team has absolutely nothing.
Well, let me tell you.
Malik Wilson was so bad in his one game. Malik Willis was so bad in his one game that they got Josh Dobbs out of I don't know where he was working, but I know that it had to do something in the aerospace world because that's all they talk about whenever he's on television playing football. They pulled him out of the Redstone Arsenal over here and gave him a football helmet over Malik Willis, the guy they drafted that same year. So now with Will Levis, another guy you're not sure about, I just think they are awful on offense.
I don't think, and I'll take it a step further. I don't think the Titans start the season with either Tannehill or Henry. One of those 2 guys is not going to make it to the season.
You got to get rid of Henry. What's the point? Because the teams, when they've showed this in the past already, you already know it. When the pass game is not threatening for the Titans, Derrick Henry does not have a good time.
Derrick Henry or Ryan Tannehill, one of the 2, will be traded for a wide receiver because that's basically until the 7th round. The Titans didn't draft one. Although I do kind of like all the other picks the Titans made. Don't hate all of them. Like the first round pick,
the Levis pick.
Peter Skoronski, the number 11 overall pick. I mean, that dude, everything about him screams, I'm a 10-year starting offensive lineman. Yeah. He's going to be fine. I like that pick. Levis, where they got him, I like where they got him. Then their 3rd round pick was a running back that doesn't even have an ACL.
Who?
I don't remember his name. It's like Tajay Spears. Doesn't even have ACL. Like that's not like, oh, he blew it out. They said in his like medical report leading up to that he doesn't have one. So that stinks. And then after that, they got a couple tight ends, or they did a tight end, another offensive lineman, and then a receiver at the end. But not a terrible draft. It's not sexy, but it's not terrible.
Best case scenario for the Titans, trade Derrick Henry, try to get something while you can. Hope Will Levis is awesome. And then, maybe you'll have a bad year this year. You can get another high draft pick and try to build for the future. There is no present.
They have to get a wide receiver. They have to.
Yeah, but to have that, they have to have a quarterback that doesn't stink. They really need Will Levis to play that.
I think Treylon Burks is still going to turn out to be a good NFL wide receiver. I do. He's had 1 year, and his rookie year he was being thrown to by Ryan Tannehill, Malik Willis, and Josh Dobbs. Right? I mean, and he had his own things to work on as well. And then after that, you've got guys like Nick Westbrook, Akina. It's not a very deep wide receiver room, so they need some help there. They need a veteran that's going to be able to come in and catch some passes. You know who I wouldn't mind see come back to Nashville? Wouldn't hate seeing Corey Davis come back if he leaves the Jets.
Does that do anything for you, though?
It gives me a little peace of mind, yeah. It's a guy that's familiar with that coaching staff and familiar with whatever they want to run, so he's a veteran that would immediately fit in. I don't think he's going to have like 1,100 yards and be like, oh, you got to watch Corey this week, but it gives me a sense of stability. Yeah.
What do you do with Malik Willis? Because you really got like no opportunity to shine. Yeah. He was just so bad in the one opportunity they gave him. They didn't even give him a chance the next week.
I guess you see if you can move him, but if not, it's not that big of a deal to cut him. He was a 4th-round draft pick, I think, right? 3rd or 4th. Maybe he was a 3rd.
Well, yeah, if he's that late of a pick, I guess you do get I was under the impression he was a 2nd-round pick.
No, he went either 3rd or 4th round.
He was just ranked so highly in the pre-draft. Okay.
He may have went 3rd.
I guess you do.
Yeah, he was a 3rd-round pick, 86 overall. 3rd-round pick.
Still a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah. That's a little better than I thought. I thought it was a 4th-round pick.
Yeah, you really have to hope that Will Levis is this guy that Mel Kiper fell in love with and said was his number 1 quarterback in the draft and close to his number 1 player in the draft to have any shot of being relevant in the next 5 years.
I just hope he turns out because the Titans picked him. I don't care what Mel Kiper has to say. Mel Kiper once said that if Jimmy Clausen doesn't turn out to be a quality starter in the NFL, he would resign.
Isn't it crazy he still has a job?
It's insane. I saw a tweet
People
today.
Get mad at the weatherman for not you said it was going to rain.
And you know what's crazy?
That's really hard to predict. Like Mel Kiper watches film and pretty much knows these people year round. He still can't get it right.
You know what's funny about that? Is you say that, well, Mel Kiper, how the heck is this guy still employed? There were people on Twitter today, like actual NFL people saying that Mel Kiper should be in the NFL Hall of Fame.
and I get it too.
I understand that.
How are you supposed to know what a dude's going to do in the future? You got to predict how his family life's got to be, his personal life, what city he's getting drafted to, any vices. You can't do it.
But look what he does for the NFL draft too, right? Like even if his analysis is wrong, he
does the work, dude. He can tell you about the dude who was drafted at running back in the 7th round who played at Temple,
right.
Then took 2 years off because he was in the military, and then he went back to school at San Diego State. He can tell you all about that guy.
But he innovated all that, right? It wasn't like Mel Kiper just came in and was all of a sudden the best NFL draft analyst. He was like the first. He was the first guy to come on and say, "I'm going to just analyze the NFL draft," and he drives so much traffic to ESPN for that. He gets all the excitement built around the NFL draft based on his rankings and based on analyzing it year after year, gets people to show up for it. There's an argument.
So that's the key. If you're going to do something poorly, be the first to do it.
That's right.
Then people will go, well, he invented the game.
100%. That's right.
They hired Todd McShay 10 years ago, and I think he's always done a better job. They're like, what are we going to do, fire Mel? Wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for him.
I wonder if there's any truth to the Mel Kiper has the same agent as Will Levis and Jimmy Clausen, because I've heard those rumors. I wonder if that's actually true, and that's why he pushed those guys.
What advantage does he get?
Well, I'm sure his agent's just like, hey, I need this guy to get
up, and then maybe he gets some money on the back end.
Well, I'm sure his agent's just like, this guy needs to get some money.
Why does Kiper have an agent? Who else is pursuing him?
I don't know.
The NBA draft. We want you over here. We want you watching our guys.
Well, he does the NFL draft for ESPN. So
Yeah.
I guess CBS could try to poach him to be their
Yeah, but if
draft
you don't buy
analyst.
the
Or
rights to the draft. What are you going to do with Here's Mel Kiper's daytime cooking show after the Rachel Ray daytime? Where are you going to put him?
it's true.
What do you got an agent for?
They'd probably give him his own draft show.
Just hey, ESPN, re-up my contract.
They'd give him his own draft show for sure. They'd send him out there anyway.
Yeah, I guess. Mel's not in it, though, because Mel knows. He's like, I stink at my job. Like, I'm not going to another station.
It's
They
crazy,
paid
man.
me forever. I was the first to do it. I don't have to be good.
I'm not and that's why I'm glad I'm not big on like just deep down. I try so hard to see if I can feel strongly about having a hot take opinion, but I don't. Like I'm just kind of the run of the mill. Like I'm never going to look at someone and go, no, I don't care how bad his tape looks. Will Levis he's a number one overall guy. I'm never going to have the stones to do something like that. My hot takes come from dumb things like movies. Rob over there has been giving me crap a lot lately, even though I told him this 2 years ago. He's been giving me crap a lot lately because I love both movies very much. I think that Ace Ventura 2 is better than the first one.
Again.
So I think it's a better movie, and I get in trouble for it. Hey. You don't waste my puffs, man.
Oh, what is that? Is that spray paint? Have you been huffing spray paint all day?
Don't worry about it, dude. Don't waste my puffs.
Oh, my God. I feel like I could run through a wall right now.
Oh, the crash is hard. The come down's really hard.
Oh! I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry. There was a lot of energy there.
In 3, 2, 1. It's gone. He's asleep. He's mentally unstable now. We're ready for the crash. All right, everybody, don't forget.
Wait. No. Coming through the back door. What? What happened?
Coming through the back door.
Oh, my gosh. Sorry. I huffed some of your spray paint right there, and I forgot where I was. Yeah. Oh.
Spent all weekend just shoving a bunch of Sharpies in there.
And it's kind of tasted like a Sharpie. What were we talking about?
The NFL draft.
Mel Kiper, dude. Do we have any tape on the first weatherman? Oh, the first guy was like, I'm gonna go out to the town center later, and I'm gonna tell everyone it's gonna rain tomorrow.
You
And then one guy was like, dude, you're nuts, man.
Not only are you nuts, dude, you know how much of a jerk you got to be, too? Because think about it. No one knows what a weatherman is. So it's just some dude telling you that your day that you think is going to be awesome is going to stink now.
Yeah.
So not only do you hope that guy's wrong, and if he's wrong, you're going to be mad, but you're mad at him anyway because you don't know if he's going to be right or wrong. Like, it's like right now, it's completely sunny, and we don't know what weathermen are. I'm like, hey, Ricky. And you're like, yeah, I'm so excited about tomorrow. It's going to be sunny. I'm like, no, dude, I wouldn't. It's going to rain tomorrow. Like, you jerk, don't tell me that.
You'd hear that. He'd be like, it's going to rain tomorrow. And the guy'd be like, how do you know that? All right. I've lived a lot of days out here, and tomorrow doesn't feel like it's going to rain. He goes, well, I've been doing all of this math and all these stats and different things. You don't know what these are yet because I'm very educated and it's very old. But soon every person in the world will know this stuff. I did all these numbers, and that guy goes, oh, yeah, did the numbers tell you it's going to rain? Sure, pal. It's a lot like the sabermetrics discussion we have in sports now in baseball. Yeah. You know, a lot of scouts say, I just have a feel for when a guy's good. And meanwhile, these people be like, no, the numbers say different. That was the exact argument the first weatherman had with every person in his community.
Listen, everybody, we need to cancel the festival. It's going to rain tomorrow. How do you know that? Well, see, it starts with a cumulus cloud. All right, nerd.
Get your rocks. and that guy was probably killed before he ever even found out if it did rain tomorrow.
That's right.
You know, and then everyone probably went, oh man, you see that? They're going, yeah. Don't say it's raining. Yeah, no, we know. You remember what we did to the weatherman? Yeah, no, it was
laying in a bed eating through a tube, and they're like, hey, Jerry.
Hey, Jer.
Hey, those nimbus clouds are real pretty.
Yeah.
Look good,
we
man.
named it after you. We named one of them after you. That's the Jerry Cloud. How's that feel? You can draw a lot of similarities to the stats over eye test in baseball to the first ever weatherman and his first ever forecast.
What other first person would be just...
Has anyone ever made that connection before? But I feel like they're very simple.
I don't think anybody's ever thought about the first weatherman ever.
You're only getting that here, folks. That's an exclusive.
What other job would, like, who's the first person to do anything? Like,
first person to eat an egg. That guy was probably a weirdo. You know? What makes you want to do that? Curiosity? Maybe. A desire to know things that are unknown? Or do you just really want to suck on that egg right there? The chicken just... What is it? I don't know, but I'm glad the person did, is what I'm saying.
Maybe he was thirsty and he cracked it open to see if it had water in it, like a coconut.
Possibly.
Maybe he didn't just look at something that came out of the chicken's keister
How
and
many
goes,
shells did he eat before he went, I like it. I think everything else in here is good. We can do without the shell.
I don't disagree that the guy was weird, but I really hope at no point he ever looked at an egg and went, I really want to suck on that egg. Like you suggest.
Have you ever seen like a pencil eraser that's very bright or something? Maybe it kind of looks like a piece of fruit, and you know you're not supposed to eat it, but you have a weird thing in your head telling you like, I kind of want to try to eat that. Or I want to like. I feel like that eraser would taste good. It looks tasty.
I know it's not an actual strawberry, but I just need to confirm that it doesn't taste like an actual strawberry.
Yeah, I kind of need to make sure there's no juice in there.
Like, I know there's not,
like,
but
I know it, and I'm not going to do this ever again. Like I will not. There's a 0% chance that I eat erasers in my future. I need to eat that. I need to take a bite out of that one.
That's so true.
That's a thing, though. It's not.
very true.
Yeah, no one will admit it. No one will admit it.
Also,
You've thought about eating an eraser before.
First guy to drink milk had to be weird too.
Weird. He probably hung out with egg guy.
He probably was the egg guy.
Like, hey.
Now, what's he going to do this week?
He talked to his buddy. Said, "I'm starting to get the nerve up. I think I'm gonna eat one of them white oval things that chickens keep making." And he's like, "That's weird, because I'm thinking about drinking some milk from that cow."
I was about to say, could you imagine it?
That's a way harder pitch for the milk.
How weird?
Oh, God.
How weird is this guy? How's he ever going to top, eating that egg that came out of that chicken? Hey, you guys ever heard of milk? Huh? What's milk?
Where'd you get it from?
Oh,
That? Oh my God!
oh.
The egg thing was weird, but that's just disgusting. What are you gonna do with
The cow
that?
keeps making. I don't know if the cow's making noise. I don't know if it likes
I'm
it.
gonna
or-
dip things in it. I think I can dip something in it. Feels like it. I'm gonna do it. He's dipping other things in. He dipped an egg in there.
Oh.
But in summary,
Yeah, man.
Predictions are hard. Predictions are hard. And Mel's figured that out firsthand for years.
Trash Pandas will be back at home tomorrow, 6:05. His first pitch. Gates open at 5 o'clock. VIP gates at 4:30. It's a 6-game homestand against the Tennessee Smokies, the big rivals here. It's going to be a big one. Come out, check it out, enjoy yourself. That's been the Bullpen. I'm Tony Mack. That's Tricky Ricky.
We say we go hit the Waffle House and have us a couple eggs. Wash
All
it
right,
out.
dude. Nobody wants to suck on an egg more than me right now.
Oh man, let's go.